With Toy Story being the biggest hit in 1995, making over $191 million in the US to $244 million worldwide, a sequel was inevitable, so continue my Pixar marathon, like a Toy Story 2. Fun fact to get started, and this film originally began as a GTV installment before the filmmakers realized the quality of work they had done. The movie was reworked for theaters in just 18 months, a fraction of the 3 years it normally takes to make an animated film even today. So let's get started. The film opens on a video game centered around Buzz Lightyear's Star Command, facing up against Emperor Zurg. I mentioned this before, but the sequence has held up remarkably well over the years, to the point where we just now have comparable graphics using the Toy Story sequences in Kingdom Hearts 3 as proof. Much like the cast reprised the roles from the last movie, also some new ones we'll get to in a bit. Anyway, Woody is getting ready to go to camp with Andy. This opening sequence has lost images of later become memes. I also like how the TV has brief glimpses of Pixar short films, and this will come up again later. However, Woody's arm is damaged during playtime, meaning he has to stay behind while Andy goes to camp. He sympathizes with a penguin named Wheezy, voiced by the late Joe Ranft. They also have to deal with the yard sale being held, and Wheezy being mixed in with other old toys. Woody gets mixed in trying to save him, leading to this movie's inciting incident, being stolen by Al, voiced by Wayne Knight. She considered Al's toy run by day, scheming collector by night. So follows the other toys led by Buzz to rescue Woody before Andy gets home. At the same time, Woody's taken Al's apartment, where he finds out he's not the only toy of his kind. When Jessie, voiced by Joan Cusack, Prosper Stinky Pete, voiced by Kelsey Grammer, and Bullseye the Horse, voiced by a man of a thousand voices, Frank Welker, part of a classic TV show called Woody's Roundup. As Woody learns more about his past, Buzz and the others start making plans to rescue Woody. Seems we're trying to find the way to Al's toy barn. Something that just appear on the TV while works in a ham or channel surfing from Pixar short films. This attention to detail I just love. Buzz and the other toys start their journey to rescue Woody as he takes on a viewing of the penultimate episode of Woody's Roundup with Jessie, Bullseye, and Pete. However, Pete laments the show ended on a cliffhanger to launch Sputnik satellite. By extension, Cowboys and Prospects were out, Space Toys were in. Still, Woody is fascinated by his true nature and is surprised that he and the rest of the collection are to be sold to Konishi Toy Museum in Tokyo, Japan. This presents another conflict in the movie. Does he want to go back to Andy and risk getting lost, broken, or sold? Or does he want to go to the museum and be safe, the cost of never being personally loved again? However, Woody's arm comes off completely, and Al calls Gary the cleaner, even an illusion when the short films have him fixed and cleaned up as Buzz and the others continue making their way across town to rescue Woody. The next day, Gary comes to fix Woody's arm and clean him up to pristine condition. I just mentioned this, but I like the added detail of the chess pieces in his toolkit. Elsewhere, Buzz and the other toys make their way to our toy barn in a very chaotic yet creative sequence of them crossing the road while using traffic cones as cover. Inside Al's toy barn, the toys run into all manner of other toys, both helpful and less so, as they try to find out how to help Woody. There's a bunch of Barbies, notably the tour guide, voiced by Ariel herself, Jodie Benson. I don't know what to expect from this live-action Barbie movie they're making, but I'll deal with that as it comes. Same with the live-action Little Mermaid. Personally, all I had to do is make Splash again. Elsewhere, Buzz gets mixed up with a new model of Buzz, who is every bit as full of himself as he originally was in the last movie. As Al takes pictures of the collection from Mr. Konishi, Woody is very pleased to have his arm fixed, as Jessie recounts her past in one of the movie's most memorable sequences, set to When She Loved Me by Sarah McLachlan. It's once owned by a little girl named Emily who moved on and donated to a charity. As a prospect actor named Woody, do we think Andy will take you to college on his honeymoon? Hold that thought for about 11 years. While Buzz tries to escape his bonds, the other toys find out that Alice tries to sell the collection to the museum, and plans to fly to Japan that night. As we've seen him faxing Konishi the Polaroids of his collection. For those who weren't around there and just don't know, it's basically how some documents were sent before Google Drive and Dropbox. Some places actually still use them, believe it or not. Buzz escapes and begins following the other toys in the apartment building, and when he's free to figure Emperor Zurg as well. The elevator climbing anti-gravity servos still make me laugh after all these years. After Buzz and the other toys come to see him, Woody starts having second thoughts about the museum, best after he sees the rendition of You Got a Friend to Me on one of the other Woody's Roundup videotapes. Though Jesse and Bullseye are more than happy to join Woody at the prospect of other ideas, he resents having spent most of his existence on a dinosaur shelf as the other toys were sold, sealing the fence with his pickaxe. It's out of his box and his mind. Zurg and the other her Buzz have a skirmish on top of the elevator. I did mention this earlier, but there were quite a few Star Wars sound effects in the game in the opening. Then we get a brief spoof with the Empire Strikes Back reveal. How about that? This was after Episode 1, but well before the mouse bought out Lucasfilm. As Zurg and the other Buzz catch up, Buzz leads the other toys in a chase with Al to the airport, behind the wheel of the Cream Pizza Planet truck. There's even another appearance of the Little Green Men, who are eternally grateful for saving their lives. To feel like the end jokes animators at the airport, and a subtle reference to the classic airplane in regards to the White Zone. Spinning the baggage check in a pet carrier. The sequence of trying to find suitcase with Woody inside is still one of my favorite sequences in the series. Just seeing this area from the perspective of toys visually creative in itself. But there's a little touch that really make it memorable, like Buzz getting a clean shave for a butte stuck to his backside. Stinky Pete tries to fight off Buzz and attack Woody, but the other toys gang up on him, ever to find the Prospero tells the toys that the ultimate attorney rotting in some landfill. Again, hold that thought for about 11 years. For now, enjoy the karma of him being stuck in a girl's backpack alongside her Barbie. Now comes finale, where Woody has to find his hour for real, where he just had to escape the plane's cargo hold before it leaves for Japan. The sequence held up incredibly well after all these years, especially in the copy user rights Fantasy Plus profile. So with Woody back home along with Jesse and Bullseye, we close on a repaired Wheezy and seeing Big Bam edition You Got a Friend in Me and the toys vowing to face the future. Clint Annie moves on for infinity and beyond. I have no formal opinion on the outtake being cut, so I'm going to wrap this up. Naturally, this film was another big hit, making $245 million in the US and over $197 million worldwide, making it one of the most successful films in 1999. It definitely felt like a natural progression of the story. It was just a short time from its senior. The anime's already shown quite a bit of advancement. Its impact is what we felt today, so I'd love to revisit whenever I have a chance, and I'm glad I finally got to share it with you all. Final rating is 4 out of 4. Next time, Pixar continues my look at Monsters Incorporated. Later.